in your neighborhood, in your neighborhood, in your neighborhood. Say, who are the people in your neighborhood? The people that you meet each day.
Hi boys and girls, welcome to Turn the Page Tuesdays. So now that it's almost time for bed, make sure that you take care of all of those bedtime routines. Parents, now's the time to pause your device for the children to be able to go ahead and do that. Hi boys and girls, so today I am here with Dylan Campbell of Cedar, Knoll. Dylan, how are you?
I'm doing very well.
Good. So tell us, we're in the Pine View development right now, which is right across the street from the bowling alley.
Yep.
Right?
Timber Lanes.
And how long have you been with Cedar Knoll?
I have been with Cedar Knoll since I was a teenager. I am currently turning 25 years old, so that puts me probably since high school, at least 7 years.
And what is your role in the Cedar Knoll Builders? What do you do?
Yeah, it's a mixed bag of things, but my role right now would be primarily looking over some of the sales parts, looking at the internal organization that we have going on, moving pricing through, and just making sure that our homes are quality and that we're seeing to our customers the way we should be.
Okay. What are some other job responsibilities that are in Cedar Knoll? Obviously, when the builders decided to build in this area, there's other jobs within the organization. What are some of those jobs?
Sure. Well, building homes, and a lot of homes typically comes with a lot of different responsibilities. So a lot of our jobs are outside. We are directing and making sure that the construction process is clean and clear, and making sure we actually are building the tangible house. That's a large part of it. A lot of it has to do with paperwork, picking what is the customer looking to build, what are the items that they believe should be in their dream house, making sure that we price those accurately and correctly and affordably for our clients. Putting that all in lots of paperwork and making sure it gets to the hands of our 30-some different subcontractors that are in the process of building a home. And then,
hi boys and girls, so today I am here with Dylan Campbell of Cedar Knoll. Dylan, how are you?
I'm doing very well.
Good. So tell us, we're in the Pine View development right now, which is right across the street from the bowling alley.
Yep.
Right?
Timber Lanes.
And how long have you been with Cedar Knoll?
I have been with Cedar Knoll since I was a teenager. I am currently turning 25 years old, so that puts me probably since high school, at least 7 years.
And what is your role in the Cedar Knoll Builders? What do you do?
Yeah, it's a mixed bag of things, but my role right now would be primarily looking over some of the sales parts, looking at the internal organization that we have going on, moving pricing through, and just making sure that our homes are quality and that we're seeing to our customers the way we should be.
Okay. What are some other job responsibilities that are in Cedar Knoll? Obviously, when the builders decided to build in this area, there's other jobs within the organization. What are some of those jobs?
Sure. Well, building homes, and a lot of homes typically comes with a lot of different responsibilities. So a lot of our jobs are outside. We are directing and making sure that the construction process is clean and clear, and making sure we actually are building the tangible house. That's a large part of it. A lot of it has to do with paperwork, picking what is the customer looking to build, what are the items that they believe should be in their dream house, making sure that we price those accurately and correctly and affordably for our clients. Putting that all in lots of paperwork and making sure it gets to the hands of our 30-some different subcontractors that are in the process of building a home. And then taking a raw piece of dirt and making it come to life. So in that, you have sales agents, you have purchasers, you have supervisors, you have site assistants, list goes on there.
So you're more quality control then?
Yeah, you could say that. Just
Okay.
making sure everything follows its path.
So
Yeah.
when and I know, boys and girls, we have some students who live in the Pineview development already. When you may have come in, we're standing in one of the model houses right now, which means it's completely finished. Maybe we'll get to see a site that is in the construction part earlier today or later today. But when you come into a home, into a model home, all of this are things that you can have in your own home. So say even this countertop right now, this kitchen countertop, this could be something that the color or the material that it's made of, this could be something that you put into your home. So what Dylan's saying is that there are so many different parts and so many different subcontractors who also help in installation, in providing the materials to do that. And so what Dylan does is oversees all of that. So how long does it take to build a home?
In Pineview Estates, working days, we are working hard to make it a goal to be building a home from dig to final, customer in the house, in roughly anywhere between 80 to 100 working days is how that can span. But we are currently about roughly 90 working days to get that done.
Okay. And I did hear that you had someone working in the house who said that he was going to put an order in for lumber. So that's the actual frame of the house then?
Yes.
Okay. So from the actual frame to all of the things in the house, that's all that needs to get done. Do you have to know how to read to do your job?
Yes, we do. We have to read a lot of different things, and numbers as well. But reading is very important. You have to read what a client wants. You have to read what our different trade partners are looking for, and a lot of emails. So reading is a very important part of what we do.
Now I'm going to ask you maybe a tough question. We'll see. Cedar Knoll decided that they wanted to build here. How did they determine that this was the land that they wanted to build on?
Sure. So Cedar Knoll itself actually would have been working with the developer when this was the land that was determined to build on. A lot of that stems out of, to some extent, area, location. Oxford's a great place to be. It's a growing place. It's an area that is right close to Route 1, Old Baltimore Pike. The location works in a lot of spaces. I'm sure the developer was able to negotiate a proper price to purchase this land and saw that there was a need for housing. And as you'll see in Pineview, that the Pineview fits a lot of people's needs based on price and location and quality of construction.
And I understand there's 4 different models.
Actually 5, I believe. Yeah.
So what does that mean? Does that, like, if you have 5 different model homes, what does that mean?
Sure. So in Pineview Estates, you can build 5 different base models. That is essentially where you start with. From that point, everything is purchased a la carte. So in this case, we're staying in a juniper model. This juniper model might come with a triple window that is optional. It might come with a higher level of cabinets that comes with it that you can choose to purchase. And that's where the fun begins. You buy a floor plan, and an elevation, and those are what your models are. And from that, then you get to build, and you build off of a starting point.
So in the Juniper model, how many bedrooms does this have?
As standard, you'll have 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms.
Okay. And say in a Douglas model, would you have the same?
The Douglas model, you can have 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, or you can choose to purchase the option with 3 bedrooms, 2 baths.
Okay, so that's the difference in how many rooms it has, how many square footage it has. So that's important math right there. That kids will need to know. So when your teacher asks you to measure out perimeter or any measurements, you're learning about math, and that's something that can also be used if you decide to go in this career choice. So can we see a home that's in partial progress?
Certainly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, we're ready.
The true story of the 3 little pigs, as told to John Seska. Everybody knows the story of the 3 little pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold. I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house out of straw? So of course the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called, little pig, are you in? No answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed and I snuffed. And I sneezed a great sneeze. And you know what? The whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw, so I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there. I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar, so I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house out of sticks. I rang the doorbell on the stick house. Nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? He yelled back, go away, wolf, you can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin. I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth. But I sneezed a great sneeze. And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down, just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail, wolf's honor. Now you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open, so I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full. But my cold was feeling a little better, and I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had built his house out of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? And do you know what that rude little porker answered? Get out of here, wolf. Don't bother me again. Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't give me one little cup for my dear sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig! I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed once again. Then the third little pig yelled, and your old granny can sit on a pin. Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course I was trying to break down this pig's door, and the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. The rest, as they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the two pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting, So they jazzed up the story with all of that huff and puff and blow your house down, and they made me the big bad wolf. That's it. That's the real story. I was framed. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar. The end.
I hope you enjoyed that book by our special guest. Now it's time for bed. Good night, everyone. We'll see you in the morning.